Pokemon evolution. You know it. I know it. Your mom probably knows it. It can be a very beautiful thing. From the improved stats, more mature and badass designs, and even in some cases better typings. But as time progresses, Pokemon start to get more and more difficult to evolve. It is no longer only about getting your Pokemon to a certain level. There are some Pokemon that need to be in a certain area, or weather effects need to be active, and there's even a case where you need to turn your 3DS upside down to evolve a Pokemon. And I'm not saying that these are bad additions to the games. In fact, I love them and hope they continue to add more. But with the new games Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon being released, there are some Pokemon that are rather difficult to evolve. And with that realization in mind, today I bring you guys the top 10 hardest Pokemon to evolve in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Now keep in mind, these Pokemon aren't necessarily difficult to evolve per se, it's just a real tedious process to evolve them. And before we start, a couple of things I want to get out of the way. First of all, no EXP share will be taken into account in this video because of the fact that it'll just make things way too easy to evolve. So assume the only way to level up your Pokemon is to switch train or just straight up beat them.
Level up!
Secondly, outside help is not allowed either, which means you cannot send over any evolutionary stones or items. We're going at it from a standpoint of that this is your first Pokemon game and you can only get every item in-game. No outside help. And finally, all catchable Pokemon in Alola are viable for this list, not just Alola Pokemon. And as always, this video is just my opinion, so if you guys disagree with me, that is completely fine. In fact, leave a comment down below what you think are the most difficult Pokemon to evolve in these games. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And with that being said, let's get started. In the region of Alola, there is a certain Pokemon that needs the snow in order to evolve. And if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, then where have you been for the last year? Like, seriously. I am of course talking about the boxing Pokemon Crabrawler. Now, evolving a Pokemon in the snow may not seem that difficult of a task to do, and it's really not. That is until you figure out that the only snowy area in Alola is Mount Lanakila, which is where the Elite Four is. Luckily, in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, they have now made the lower part of the mountain accessible. So as early as the 6th trial, you can get yourself a Crabominable, but that's still a good portion of the game where you have to use a Crabrawler. And trust me, that is not an easy task. Sure, to start off, it'll help you easily take down the first totems, but after that, it gradually gets worse. And if you take a look at its stats, sure, it has a pretty decent attack, but almost everything else is complete garbage. And on top of that, it doesn't get a good stab move until level 49. So you're just gonna be stuck with moves like Rock Smash and Power Up Punch. That's really not what you want. But I must mention that you can get the TM for Brick Break early on, so it does ease the stress a bit. And hey, at least it does have some decent attack and speed stats, so you can dish out some damage to Pokemon. I'm just telling you now, Crabrawler is going to faint a lot though. As annoying as it may sound, Crabrawler isn't the only Pokemon that needs an area of the game to evolve. So coming in at number 9, we have all the Pokemon that can only evolve in the vast Pony Canyon, but I'm only going to be focusing on Charjabug and Nosepass. Why? Because they're the worst of the bunch. Magneton can really hold its own. But taking a look at both Nosepass and Charjabug's stats, they're great Pokemon to use early on. But as time goes on and the game gets more difficult, these Pokemon are going to struggle a lot more throughout the game. Especially Nosepass. Those defenses are good, but 45 attack and special attack? that's not gonna get you far. And considering how long it takes you to get to Vast Pony Canyon, these two Pokemon are going to really hold your team back. But luckily for Vikavolt fans, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon have made it a lot easier for you to get Vikavolt. You can now get a Vikavolt in Blush Mountain as an SOS encounter, and it's not even that rare to find either. So with that in mind, it kind of lowered Vikavolt's rate of difficulty because you can just avoid it altogether. But for those who want to just evolve it, Charjabug and Nosepass are still tedious to evolve. A Pokemon that I personally know is difficult to evolve is the Sandheap Pokemon Sandygast. If you guys watched my team for Pokemon Sun and Moon video, then you should know that I really wanted to include a Palossand on my team. And when playing through the game, I witnessed firsthand how terrible Sandygast is. And in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, the steps to getting a Palossand are no different. To start off, Sandygast has a ton of weaknesses, being weak to 5 different types. And in terms of stats, it's really bad. Sure, it has a decent physical defense and special attack, but 4 of the 5 types it's weak to mainly focus on special attacks anyway. And with that putrid speed stat, you're not gonna have that many chances to use that special attack. Plus, what special attacks does Sandygast have? Mega Drain? Absorb? Giga Drain? These are all grass type attacks. But it's okay, right? It's only the pre-evolution, so when does it evolve? Oh, just not until level 42! And considering you catch Sandygast at level 23, you're gonna be using this thing for a very long time. Moving on from a Pokemon that I used in the last games, Marini is actually a Pokemon that I picked up from my Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon team. So this is yet another Pokemon that I know from first-hand experience how hard it is to evolve. To start off, Marini is pretty difficult to find, only being available through SOSing from a Corsola. And when you actually find and obtain one, its stats are really not that impressive. And to go along with those awful stats, it also has a terrible move pool. I mean, for a good portion of the game, Marini's only stab move is Poison Sting, and the next stab move that it gets is Venoshock at level 27, which would be an okay move, but not on a Pokemon that has more physical attack than special. But I guess it will work better than Poison Sting. But I think the worst thing about this Pokemon though is that you have to wait until level 38 to evolve Marini into Toxapex. Yeah, it felt like forever. But at least Marini had the luxury of being resisted to a lot of types, so that's good, I guess. Next up, we have the only pseudo-legendary Pokemon to make this list. Goodra. Goomy itself is kind of hard to obtain, with you only being able to get one through an SOS encounter in the rain. And once you obtain one, it's a very long road ahead to evolve it into a Sliggoo. Its stats, like Marini and Sandygast, are very poor, with its highest stat being its special defense at 75. And like its stats, the move pool it has is also really bad, with it only having one stab move it can learn, being Dragon Breath. But the toughest thing about this Pokemon though is that you have to raise it up to level 40 to get only its second stage evolution, not its final stage. In order to get a Goodra, you're gonna have to find a place that's raining again and try to level it up from there. I know Po-Town is always raining, but the process is just annoying. And with you getting Goomy as early as level 18, it doesn't really spell a good time for you. One of the most annoying things about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is that a lot of the Pokemon that came from past generations evolve using certain items or evolutionary stones. Now, if you're using Pokemon like Eevee or Pikachu, this process isn't annoying at all. It's actually very easy. But there's also some Pokemon that need weird rare items like the Deep Sea Tooth and Scale to evolve. And guess where you find those things? Was that? You don't know? Well, to find a Deep Sea Tooth or Scale in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, you literally have to beat the game. like become the champion. So basically, throughout the entire game, you have to use a Clamperl, and oh my god, is that not easy. Its stats don't make it seem like it's that bad of a Pokemon, but trust me, when you see its moves, you'll understand. Taking a look at its moves, it can only learn 5 moves by level up, and 4 of them are moves that you get from the start. I mean, sure, you don't have to level Clamperl up to a certain level to evolve, you just need the item, but who wants to have a member on your team that doesn't do anything? Plus, Shell Smash is a pretty decent move that none of its evolutions can learn. And even if you're willing to go through all of that to get a Huntail or Gorbis, who would think to go back to Lana to get the items? But hey, if you're willing to go through all of that to get a Huntail or Gorbis, then good on you. When Golisopod was first revealed to us back in Pokemon Sun and Moon, I just knew I had to have one. In my opinion, I think Golisopod is one of the most badass designs that Game Freak has come up with in a very long time. But the process that I had to go through to get a Golisopod on my team almost made it not worth it. Meet Wimpod, the pre-evolution to Golisopod and basically the Gen 7 version of Magikarp. Well, maybe it's not that bad, but it's still trash. Aside from having a surprisingly good speed stat, there is nothing else good about Wimpod. This Pokemon also suffers from the same problem that Clamperl has, except it manages to have it even worse than it. It only has 2 moves, being Struggle Bug and Sand Attack. And to go along with this awful setup, it also has the ability Wimp Out, which automatically switches Wimpod out after it gets under 50% HP. Now this doesn't seem that bad, but there have been a couple of times where I've almost beat a Pokemon with Wimpod only for it to automatically switch out and lose half of the EXP I was meant to gain. It's really frustrating. And on top of all of that bullshit, you have to level it up to level 30 in order for it to evolve. Lord have mercy on me. One of the few new Pokemon to be introduced to us in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is the Wolf Pokemon Lycanroc Dusk form. While not entirely a new Pokemon, the Dusk form of Lycanroc is easily the hardest of the 3 evolutions to evolve. Where for the Midday and Midnight forms you basically have 12 hours of each day to get one, the Dusk form only gives you a 1-hour time frame per day to get one. And since the 2 versions are separated by 12 hours, for one of them you'll have to wake up at 5 AM in order to be in the correct time zone. I mean, you can adjust your time on your 3DS, but what's the point in playing different versions if you're not going to play by the rules of that version? I don't know about you guys, but getting up at that specific time is more than a little difficult. But besides the hour window, actually leveling up Rockruff isn't that hard. It has decent moves like Rock Throw and alright stats to go along with that. But you do have to watch out for its weaknesses, because it does have a lot of them. Overall, Lycanroc Dusk is really just annoying to get because of that 1-hour window, and even more annoying if you're playing Ultra Moon. 5 AM, man. Damn. A Pokemon that surprisingly a lot of people added to their teams happens to be Noibat. And I guess it makes sense, because in Pokemon X and Y, you had to wait until the near end of the game to get one, whereas in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, you can get one right out of the gate. But no question, Noibat has to be one of the hardest Pokemon to evolve in all of the Pokemon games. Its stats suffer from the same fate as Goomy, Marini, and Sandygast, but the difference between those Pokemon and Noibat is that you can only get one at the max level of 11, and in order to evolve it, you will have to get it up to level 48, which is the highest out of all 3 of those Pokemon. And if you think its move pool is any better, then have you really been watching this video? Because none of these Pokemon really do. The best move that Noibat gets is Air Slash at level 48. Which is the level that it evolves. So basically, the only stab moves you get are Wing Attack and Air Cutter. I hear constant stories from friends telling me how they had to drop this Pokemon from their team because it was just weighing them down. And I don't blame them. Noibat is unquestionably one of the hardest Pokemon to evolve in these games. But surprisingly, there's one more Pokemon that's even more difficult to evolve. And finally, the hardest Pokemon to evolve in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is Cosmog. Did you really expect me to skip out on this Pokemon? If Wimpod isn't the Generation 7 Magikarp, then Cosmog has to be it. In fact, it's even worse than Magikarp. Both Pokemon have the same base stat totals, but Magikarp evolves earlier at level 20 and can actually learn an attacking move. And with Cosmog, the only moves that it has are Splash and Teleport, making it somehow even more annoying to train than Magikarp. But that's of course not all. Did I also mention that you have to level this thing up to 43 in order to evolve it? 40 frickin' 3. And that's not even the worst part, because when Cosmog evolves into Cosmoem, it's somehow still just as useless. Sure, it gets a major defense boost, but the only moves it learns is Cosmic Power, which means there's still no attacking moves. Oh, and let's not forget that you also have to level this thing up another 10 levels in order to evolve it. I don't care what anyone says, Cosmog is definitely one of the most difficult Pokemon to evolve in all the Pokemon games, and it's not worth your time. So just get in the bag. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments section below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and become an Eryizo today. And if you guys ever want to participate in any one of these top 5 videos, I will be asking for your guys' opinion a lot more on Twitter, so be sure to go follow me there. Links are in the description. I also will be updating you guys on when videos come out, so if you ever want to know at the earliest time possible, you know where to go. And if you guys would like to, comment down below which Pokemon was the hardest to evolve for you. If you want to check out the previous video I did, be sure to click the annotation on the left. If you want to see some Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon videos, click the other annotation on the right. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time.